All right. Hello and welcome. Today we are going to do two scenes in Act 3. We're going to do Scene 3 and Scene 4. Both are pretty short. So remember, everything has hit the fan. Mercutio's dead. Tybalt's dead. Romeo's been banished. Juliet now knows about the banishment. And the nurse is going to go find Romeo and have him come and comfort Juliet. So, same annotations as always. Here's scene 3. We're in Friar Lawrence's cell. Romeo's there hiding out because that's where he went. So enter Friar Lawrence. Romeo, come forth, thou fearful man. Affliction is enamored of thy parts, and thou art wedded to calamity. So Romeo comes in. He's been crying. He's all distraught. Father, what news? What is the prince's doom? What sorrow craves acquaintance at my hand that I yet know not? So he wasn't even there. He doesn't know that he's been banished yet. Too familiar is thy dear son with such sour company. I bring thee tidings of the prince's doom. What less than doomsday is the prince's doom? A gentler judgment vanished from his lips. Not body's death, but body's banishment. So we're going to highlight this in orange because this is some of our plot stuff. And then right here in orange as well. Actually, there we go. Haha, much better. Okay. And Friar Lawrence, I actually highlighted lines that we didn't even say yet. So, banishment, be merciful, say death, for exile hath more terror in his look, much more than death. Do not say banishment. So Friar Lawrence starts this thing like, it's not that bad, right? It could have been death, but the prince, all he said was banishment. But Romeo, for him, banishment is the world. Like, it's awful. It's the worst thing that could possibly have happened to him. And he does not like that he's being banished because he can't be by Juliet. And his whole world is Juliet. We're going to make a comment box right here next to this line. And we're going to write, Romeo wants to die too. What is wrong with these two kids? So remember that Juliet was, when she heard that Romeo was being banished, she wanted to commit suicide. And Romeo is also right? He hears banishment. He's like, I want to die. That's awful. Hence from Verona thou art banished. Be patient, for the world is broad and wide. There is no world without Verona walls, but purgatory, torture, hell itself. Hence banished is banished from the world, and world's exile is death. Then banished is death mistermed, calling death banishment. Thou cuttest my head off with a golden axe, and smilest upon the stroke that murders me. I like those two lines. He's like, you feel like this isn't that bad, but when you say banished, it kills me inside. O deadly sin, O rude unthankfulness, thy fault our laws call death, but the kind prince, taking thy part, hath rushed aside the law and turned that black word death to banishment. This is a dear mercy, and thou seest it not. And so he's saying, come on, man. Like, this is really not that bad. You see it as a punishment, but it's a mercy. 'Tis torture and not mercy. Heaven is here where Juliet lives, and every cat and dog and little mouse, every unworthy thing live here in heaven and may look on her, but Romeo may not. More validity, more honorable state, more courtship lives in carrion flies than Romeo. They may seize on the white wonder of dear Juliet's hand and steal immortal blessings from her lips, who even in pure and vestal modesty still blush as thinking their own kisses sin. But Romeo may not, he is banished. Flies may do this, but I from this must fly. They are free men, but I am banished. And sayest thou yet that exile is not death? Hadst thou no poison mixed, no sharp ground knife, no sudden means of death, though ne'er so mean, but banished to kill me, banished? O friar, the damned use that word in hell, howlings attend it. How hast thou the heart, being a divine and ghostly confessor, a sin absolver, and my friend professed, to mangle me with that word banished? So right here, he asks for some implement of death. He says, please give me poison, give me a knife, give me something that can kill me. It's not fair because everyone else gets to be in heaven with Juliet and I don't. I have to go to hell. Thou fond madman, hear me but speak a word. Oh, thou wilt speak again of banishment. I will give thee armor to keep off that word, adversity's sweet milk, philosophy to comfort me, comfort thee. Though thou art banished, yet banished, hang up philosophy, unless philosophy can make a Juliet, displant a town, reverse a prince's doom. It helps not, it prevails not, talk no more. Oh, then I see that madmen have no ears. How should they, when that wise men have no eyes? Let me dispute with thee of thy estate. Thou canst not speak of that thou dost not feel. Wert thou as young as I, Juliet thy love, an hour but married, Tybalt murdered, doting like me and like me banished, then mightest thou speak, then mightest thou tear thy hair and fall upon the ground as I do now, taking the measure of an unmade grave. So we're going to make a comment here, and we're going to say that Romeo feels like Friar Lawrence doesn't understand him because he is old. There also might be something in there with the fact that Friar Lawrence is a priest and he's never been married. He's never had that opportunity. And he just doesn't get it, right? He's old and he doesn't get it. And he says, if you were like me, if you were young and you were in love, you would understand how painful this is. And I imagine that Romeo's like on the ground crying and like falling over, that sort of thing. So we hear Friar Lawrence says, arise, one knocks, good Romeo, hide thyself. Not I, unless the breath of heart-sick groans mist-like enfold me from the search of eyes. Hark, how they knock. Who's there? Romeo, arise. Thou wilt be taken. Stay a while. Stand up. Run to my study. By and by. God's will. What simpleness is this? I come, I come. Who knocks so hard? Whence come you? What is your will? And then the nurse outside says, let me come in and you shall know my errand. I come from Lady Juliet. So, secret meeting. And Friar Lawrence is worried because he thinks that maybe the prince's guards or somebody is out looking for Romeo. That's why he's pretending like he doesn't know and trying to get Romeo to hide. Welcome then. So the nurse comes in. Oh, holy friar, oh, tell me, holy friar, where is my lady's lord? Where's Romeo? There on the ground with his own tears made drunk. Oh, he is even in my mistress's case, just in her case. Oh, woeful sympathy, piteous predicament. Even so lies she, blubbering and weeping and blubbering. Stand up, stand and you be a man. For Juliet's sake, for her sake, rise and stand. Why should you fall into so deep an oh? Nurse? Ah, sir, well, death's the end of all. Speakest thou of Juliet? How is it with her? Does she not think me an old murderer? Now I have stained the childhood of our joy, with blood removed but little from her own. Where is she, and how doth she, and what says my concealed lady to our cancelled love? Oh, she says nothing, sir, but weeps, and now falls on her bed, and then starts up, and Tybalt calls, and then on Romeo cries, and then down falls again. As if that name shot from the deadly level of a gun did murder her, as that name's cursed hand murdered her kinsman. Oh, tell me, friar, tell me, in what vile part of this anatomy doth my name lodge? Tell me that I may sack that hateful mansion. So he draws his sword. We're going to make a comment right there, right? He's asking Friar Lawrence, tell me where I can kill myself. Tell me what I need to cut to make it so that I can kill myself. So here we go. Romeo is going to do it. Remember, they're both super, like, the first instinct they have is to kill themselves. All right. Hold thy desperate hand. Art thou a man? Thy form cries out, thou art. Thy tears are womanish. Thy wild acts denote the unreasonable fury of a beast, unseemingly woman in a seeming man. So we're going to make another comment. So here, Friar Lawrence calls Romeo a woman. Stop acting like a little girl. And it's similar to what Romeo was saying after he killed Tybalt. He says, I feel like, Juliet, you've made me womanly, right? Sexist, but that's the time period, right? Or ill-seeming beast and seeming both. Thou hast amazed me by my holy order. I thought thy disposition better tempered. Hast thou slain Tybalt? Will thou slay thyself and stay thy lady too that lives in thee by doing damned hate upon thyself? Why railest thou on thy birth, the heaven and earth, since birth and heaven and earth, all three do meet in thee at once, which thou at once wouldst lose? We're going to highlight that in orange. He says, don't kill yourself. Why do you want to hurt yourself and heaven and earth when all three meet in you? And next to it, in big old letters, we're going to write fate, because that's what he's talking about here. He's talking about fate, right? And so he's saying, look, fate made this happen. And if you kill yourself, then that doesn't work out, right? You're taking it away from fate. Fie, thou shamest thy shape, thy love, thy wit, which like an usurer aboundest in all, and usest none in that true use indeed. Why should bedeck thy shape, thy love, thy wit? Thy noble shape is but a form of wax, digressing from the valor of a man. Thy dear love sworn but hollow perjury, killing that love which thou hast vowed to cherish. Thy wit that ornament to shape and love, misshapen in the conduct of them both, like powder in a skitless soldier's flask, is set afire in thy own ignorance. And thou dismembered in thine own defense, what roused thee, man? Thy Juliet is alive. For whose dear sake thou wast but lately dead, there art thou happy. Tybalt would kill thee, but thou slewest Tybalt. There art thou happy too. The law that threatened death becomes thy friend and turns to exile. There art thou happy. A pack of blessings light upon thy back. We're going to highlight that line in orange. He's trying to get Romeo to see that you have blessings. Count your blessings, right? You have all these things. Juliet's alive, and she could have been dead. Tybalt would have killed you, but you killed Tybalt. And then you would have been killed by the law, but banishment became, you had to be exiled instead. You have all these blessings. Happiness courts thee in her best array, but like a misbehaved and sullen wench, thou poutest upon thy fortune and thy love. Ouch. Oof. Go, get thee to, oh, I'm sorry, I skipped a line. Take heed, for such die miserable. Go, get thee to thy love as was decreed. Ascend her chamber hence and comfort her. But look thou stay not till the watch be set, for then thou canst not pass to Mantua, where thou shalt live, till we can find a time to blaze your marriage, reconcile your friends, beg pardon of the prince, and call thee back with 200,000 times more joy than thou wast forth in lamentation. Go before, nurse, commend me to thy lady, and bid her hasten all the house to bed, which heavy sorrow makes them apt unto. Romeo is coming. All right, so now we're going to highlight some stuff here. We're going to highlight in orange all of this. And we are going to highlight all of this. And this is Friar Lawrence's plan. Friar Lawrence is the man with the plan. So we're going to make this a little smaller so that we can write down the things of his plan. And actually, we need to make it pretty small because these are some big things. So I'm going to go down even to like 10 point. So part 1, he says, go to Juliet and comfort her. Now, really, when he says comfort her, he means finish up your marriage, right? You need to go and have sex with Juliet so that you're fully married, right? Then tomorrow morning, leave and go live in Mantua. Now, Mantua is about 3 miles away from Verona. It'd be kind of the same sort of deal as if, you're being exiled from Arvada and you go to Westminster. It's just the next town over. So he's going to go and live in Mantua, right? And then we will work here to fix the problems. We're going to tell everyone about your marriage and bring you back. Okay, so now those are our 3 things that we're going to put here right now, because the fourth part, these are big. The fourth part, we'll put it down here, is we haven't come to yet, right? We'll get there in just a second. So the nurse says, "Oh Lord, I would have stayed here all night to hear good counsel." She likes the friar, right? She's kind of hitting on the friar. "Oh, what learning is, my Lord, I'll tell my lady you will come. Do so, and bid my sweet prepare to chide. Here, sir, a ring she bid me give you, sir. Hie you make haste, for it grows very late." And so then the nurse leaves. "How well my comfort is revived by this." So the ring, right? He says, she gave me a gift. She's not so mad. "Go hence, good night, and here stands all your state. Either be gone before the watch be set, or by the break of day disguised from hence sojourn in Mantua. I'll find out your man, and he shall signify from time to time every good hap to you that chances here. Give me thy hand, 'tis late, farewell, good night. But that a joy past joy calls out on me, it were a grief so brief to part with thee, farewell." So he leaves. Now we need to highlight right here where he says, "Sojourn from Mantua, and I'll find your man." He's talking about Balthazar, Romeo's servant. "And from time to time, I will let you know what's going on here in Verona." So that's the fourth part of this plan, right? So it is Friar Lawrence will send messages to Romeo. Now, in this plan, all these things are relatively under our character's control, right? So number 1 is Romeo. Romeo's going to do that because he wants to. The next one, he has to leave to Mantua. Romeo's going to do that because he has to. We will work here to fix out the problems. That's what Friar Lawrence is going to do, and he's going to do it, right? He's going to do his best. It might take some time, but he will try and fix the problems here in Verona. But now this one, Friar Lawrence will send messages to Romeo. That's where it gets out of the hand of the people that are in this secret pact. And that's what's worrisome. And so if we were going to make a prediction of where in the plan things are going to fall apart, it's that last one is where things are going to fall apart. Okay, so that's the end of this scene. Scene 3, you need to go back and annotate for your motifs. There's definitely some futility of fighting fate and light and dark. There is some past against the future. Not very much, but there is. So look for all 3 of them. So go ahead and pause and then do those markings, and then you'll come right back. Okay, so you're back. So now we're going to go on to scene 4. It is super short and there's very little to highlight. So let's just get going right away. So this is a room in the Capulet's house. I like to think it's like the grand entryway, right? Like they're in the front of their house because they have kind of a mansion. So we have Capulet, Lady Capulet, and Paris. And we all know why Paris is there. It's the same reason he's been coming to the Capulet house for the last couple months. He's there to see if Juliet will marry him. So Capulet says, "Things have fallen out, sir, so unluckily that we have had no time to move our daughter. Look you, she loved her kinsman Tybalt dearly, and so did I. Well, we were born to die. 'Tis very late. She'll not come down tonight. I promise you, but for your company, I would have been abed an hour ago. These times of woe afford no time to woo. Madam, good night. Commend me to thy daughter." So Lady Capulet's there too. "I will, and know her mind early tomorrow. Tonight she is mewed up to her heaviness." So they think that Juliet is all upset because of Tybalt's death. Good, disguise for her real reason why she's so upset. Sir Paris, I will make a desperate tender of my child's love. I think she will be ruled in all aspects by me. Nay, more, I'll doubt it not. Wife, go you to her ere you go to bed. Acquaint her here of my son Paris's love, and bid her mark you me on Wednesday next. But soft, what day is it? So he says, I want to get this done, right? Paris, because of what happened to Tybalt, I'm worried because Juliet's my last child, and this whole feud thing is going crazy. I think we should just go ahead and do this and get her married to you. Monday, my lord, Monday, ha ha. Well, Thursday is too soon. Oh, Thursday, let it be. Oh, Thursday, tell her she shall be married to this noble earl. So we're going to highlight that in orange. So done deal. Now Juliet is going to be married to Paris. Will you be ready? Do you like this haste? We'll keep no great ado, a friend or two. For hark you, Tybalt being slain so late, it may be thought we held him carelessly, being our kinsman, if we revel much. Therefore we'll have some half a dozen friends, and there an end. What say you to Thursday? My lord, I would that Thursday were tomorrow. Well, get you gone. Oh, Thursday be it then. Go you to Juliet ere you go to bed. Prepare her wife against this wedding day. Farewell, my lord. Light to my chamber ho. Afore me it is so very late that we may call it early by and by. Good night. Okay, that's the whole thing. The most important thing in that scene is that now everything's falling apart because remember, Mercutio cursed the characters. So now Capulet says, you are going to marry Paris, and it's a done deal. You don't need to do very many of these motifs. There's maybe light versus dark, but nothing else. And so just look for some light lines that say light versus dark, and then you're good to go. All right, we're done with those two scenes. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you to finish up Act 3, and we'll see what happens. Bye.